Hello, and welcome to Story Time with Mina the Engineer. I would like to start off with a lovely story about a picky person who doesn't know what they want. Who is that person, you ask? Well, it's me. Several months ago, this person recorded quite a lot of quest footage and has been sitting on it for the past few months, trying to figure out what they want to do with it. Which is arguably an extraordinarily simple thing, as there's nothing particularly complicated in the quest that I recorded several months ago and have been sitting on and haven't made a video about yet. But besides that point, the main determining factor is how many quests do I want to fit into this episode. Because I could do all 6 quests that I recorded, but I would have to compress several of them down to keep the episode length to something within what I would call reasonable. On the other hand, I could focus on the first 2 quests of this list and spend a good amount of time talking about things like the lore that goes on in it, and how that relates to the world as a whole, and how that relates in comparison to the previous. And that is where my determination has resulted in. I'm not quite sure what I want, and I still don't know what I want, so this is the episode that you get.
Journey with me to Gillinor, from Ashdale, a world to explore, in search of the book of 1,000 songs, as we set off from the shore.
Hello and welcome! We're in RuneScape 2 finally, with quest number 51, Rune Mysteries. This is one of the quests that was redone in 2012, along with Prince Ali Rescue, and a bunch of other things. It's now a 2-parter, and it is chocked full of lore.
Delina, the tower is in danger. I need to speak to Archmage Cedrador.
And voice acting. So, that's one of the kind of struggle points of me putting this video together is that this quest has so much lore built into it. It's so dense. Like, not in terms of like anything that happens, which is the problem, is it's all things that happened and we learn about, and it's all very interesting and expands the world and makes it feel more like, you know, a world that has progressed through ages, and things have happened to inhabitants of this world, and there's decisions that were made based off of information provided at the time, and yada yada yada, instead of just kind of a game where things are placed arbitrarily and don't make any sense. So we start out talking with Ariane here, who's having a bit of an altercation, and there turns out to be a small altercation inside the tower as well that we have to assist with, because Boran he's not a fighter. So Ariane also gets knocked on her ass because she's been barred from the tower. So it's kind of up to us, and we wore mage armor on a quest for magic. I didn't prep very well for this quest, but that's okay. I take my pants off, and I solve the problem. So we go have a chat out with Ariane. Her altercation was because she had a premonition that something bad was happening to the tower, which they're not going to listen to because they kicked her out for some reason that she doesn't want to tell us. But it's kind of built into this idea of how the history is of the wizard's tower is formed. And it's things of like, oh, magic has a gift. It's like, no, it's hard work. And I'm a very good example of this, as in my character, right? Your RuneScape character is really kind of dumb. I have 60 magic. And I have more magic than probably most of the people in that tower. And my character is dumb as a bag of rocks. So she basically says I should talk to some of the wizards to see if they know anything, so we go off and do that. So Cedrador says that he's going to effectively magically nuke the tower beam to kill whatever is hiding inside of it, because of course that's always going to be the answer. Treyborn provides probably the most useful information out of all of the wizards, despite speaking in mostly gibberish. And then Elrond is basically just provides a little bit of background information and is not very helpful at this point.
Have you learned anything from the wizards in the town?
So, here we go back and report back to Ariane. She's apparently got kicked out for talking to demons,
To the demon. Spoke to it, but there's no middle
which
ground with Cedrador. Step outside the line and you're
is apparently a no-no.
What he means is he's
I don't see the problem. I agree with her on that.
It might work.
Like, I'll help anybody if you give me money
Find out more.
or stuff. But she basically has us go back and try and figure out how to get into the ruins of the old tower, because it's locked by a door that supposedly a spell will unlock. And it turns out that that spell is actually, when converted into notes and played on this lovely, lovely organ that is in the tower, happens to be actually relevant information. And it's wonderful and fun. And hurrah, we get a key.
Come on, open the door.
So, off we go, eventually, into the ruins of the old tower. It's very mystical and magical and
This
full
is
of great history.
amazing. We may be the first
And-
people to come down here for 100 years. This must be
Also find out that the old tower was multiple orders of wizards who were just kind of arbitrarily grouped by color.
orders here. I've read about
And then that color symbolized their ideology, that encompassed their entire point of view, and everything was very rigid. And that always ends well. Yes. So we go and talk to the Rune Guardian of BuzzFeed quizzes to find out what school of ancient magic we belong to,
wizards joining the tower.
and answer a whole lot of slightly invasive questions, undoubtedly designed to scrape personal information for algorithms. But at the end of that, we get the Grey Wizard, which is the best one. And we get a hat. It's not a very good hat, but we get a hat.
Hey, what are you doing?
So we continue deeper into the ruins of the tower, which is not very tower-shaped off of the topography that we've been presented with thus far,
Local rulers that let the wizards
and now have to basically go down.
You can't just push her statue down.
And
Well,
uh,
but
we're tired.
okay. Try not to damage the statue.
This is too much lore, not enough action. It's putting me to sleep. It's making me want to vandalize things. But we get a bridge out of it, so that's okay. Like I said, there's so much lore in this quest. It's a novice quest. You can do it. It's a free-to-play quest. You can do it. I think it's a free-to-play quest. Might not be. I don't know. It's a ridiculous amount of lore in this quest in Rune Memories. Like, it is filthy how much lore there is. So, effectively what we find out by analyzing these little spirit ghost things is they're not little spirit ghost things, they're soul fragments, which is somehow different from little spirit ghost things. But the important thing is that they're supposed to be here, and they were kind of kept here by an enchantment that got removed or decayed away or something along those lines. So Ariane is going to go and try and put the enchantment back in place, and we need to distract the wizards long enough for that to happen.
Please don't do that, adventurer. The Icenic Purge is in a critical stage, and it is essential that all participants be able to concentrate.
So we just play the organ.
Adventurer, I must insist that you step away from that organ.
Meanwhile, Ariane is doing things. And more.
Break my concentration once more, and you will feel the wrath of the Grand Archmage of the Reborn Tower.
Oh no, Dad is mad. I guess we can't play on the organ anymore. That's okay. Ariane finished the thing she was doing, whatever that is. Just in time. As the wizards are now finishing their thing that they're doing, whatever that is. And then the things do a thing together, and there's concern? Maybe?
The purge is complete.
It was close, but I managed to restore the enchantment. The vortices are trapped in the ruins again. Thanks to your
Wonderful.
help, adventurer. I couldn't have done this without you.
Dude, I'm
Well,
happy to help.
Thanks again. I found some things in the ruins you might be interested in. They're yours if you want them.
Well, yes, of course. I want runes that are not very useful, and an air talisman that I don't really need, and a lamp.
I'm going to head back down to the ruins to study the vortices. I want to find out what happened to the old tower and who released the vortices from the ruins. Meet me down there if you want to help.
Well, of course I want to help, but I need to go and do something else for 10 minutes. Hello, and welcome back to Rune Memories, part 2 of the rune crafting quest. Like I said in Rune Mysteries, this is all of the lore. Just, it's so much lore, so buckle in, kiddos, because there's cutscenes for days. But they're generally fairly entertaining cutscenes. So, this is one of those where it expands so much on the original quest that the...
I could use your help again if you're interested.
Right, like, the original quest is like a World of Warcraft quest line level of complexity and lore and detail. You're basically sherpaing a package between a handful of locations and then going in, getting runecrafting as a reward as they rediscover runecrafting. This has been retconned a bit of runecrafting has not been lost as it is in the old school version of the game. However, how we're able to craft runes and where all of that came from has been kind of forgotten, which is what these quests explore. So, we kind of start off with Ariane doing her best to be even more useless by one-upping face planting into the floor by getting stuck in the power beam. And we need to figure out how the power beam was turned on to turn it off temporarily to get her out, which seems like an enormously bad idea. But, yeah. that's what she wants. So we get a couple of these prepared runes, and we basically have to go and slurp up some of the spirit, not soul things. And then we get these sort of imbued thingamajobs that we can plop down in certain locations to get cutscenes. There. Which is the bulk of the quest. Is put the runes in the right location, you get a cutscene. Rejoice. Oh look, we're being directed to do one now. Put one there. And put one there.
What Zanmaron got you working on now?
Enemies of the Order must taste the flames of our wrath.
I thought your order perfected attack spells decades ago. Isn't Surge the theoretical maximum?
It's not about power. I'm looking at ways to make the spells bypass defenses.
Can't be done. Ozakan proved you've got to have line of effect.
I know. It's one of Zanmaron's impossible problems. I'm meant to try to solve it, to learn why it can't be solved. That's what I can't work out. I can't see what's wrong with my solution.
Let me see.
May?
You're bypassing line of effect by angling the spell through a secondary plane using runes of law. I mean, it's not a complete solution, but the principle is... Do you know what you've got here?
What do you mean?
I think you might have solved the teleportation problem.
That's not funny, May.
I'm serious! We should show this to Azris. She's spent years trying to crack the problem. She's written volumes on why it can't be done. If this is an elementary mistake, she'll have seen it before.
And what if it's not an elementary mistake?
Then she'll take it to the council, and you, my friend, will have a major school of magic named after you.
Oh, grad students. Well, basically, yeah, this is the format of the quest. Is we watch a cutscene and we go and report back to Ariane, describing what we saw and ask any additional questions if necessary. And then we get directed to the next location to look at a cutscene. Am I going to skip the cutscenes? No. No. You're going to watch them. You're going to watch them with basically no commentary, because I quite like them. But basically the takeaway from this is they thought that teleportation was impossible outside of a set of very limited conditions. Realized that no, you just have to teleport to somewhere else and then teleport back to where you want to actually go. So we go and suck up all of the other little not ghost soul fragments, and we get to go and watch another cutscene.
Zanmaron, may knowledge guide you. Do you know what this is about?
Strength through chaos, honored friend. I have no idea. I suppose you were in the middle of something.
My history of Gillinor. I have almost reached the dawn of the Second Age.
Ah, when my Lord Zamorak enters the scene. When may the rest of us read this masterwork?
When it's ready, my impatient friend, you know that.
Strength through wisdom, gentlemen. Do either of you know what this is about?
We have no idea. I suspect Azris is keeping us waiting in order to inject some drama into her announcement.
She has an announcement?
That's what I'm guessing. Ah, here she comes.
Balance is power, my fellow wizards. I'm sure you're wondering why I've gathered you here.
Honestly, my dear, it hadn't occurred to us to ask.
Since Guthix guided my order's founder to the Rune Essence Cave, the tower has struggled with the problem of for every rune we make, we must bring essence here from the mine, through icy wilderness and across pirate-infested seas. Wizards of all our orders have lost their lives bringing the runes the tower needs. We have long known that teleportation is possible, but have failed to invent a new spell that could connect the tower to the rune essence. My fellow wizards, this document contains the theoretical framework that will allow us to create new teleport spells.
Azris, this is amazing. If this is true...
Temlin, would it work?
Yes, I believe it would. It solves both the distance and line of effect problems by routing the movement through a second plane. Of course, we'll need to find an appropriate plane to use.
All I have is the seed. I will need each of your help in developing it into a ritual. No one of our orders can do this alone.
Even so, what you've shown us here is a major breakthrough that deserves recognition. Whose work is this?
It is my own. After a lifetime of searching, Gothic saw fit to grant me the necessary inspiration.
You are too modest, Azris. The gods may inspire us, but the work is our own.
Indeed. And there is more work to be done. We should all study this properly, and then reconvene. I will be in my study with my apprentice. Strength through chaos, my fellow wizards.
So yeah, we just saw a memory of academic dishonesty, but that's okay. It's fine. This is totally not going to cause problems later. Not going to result in, you know, arguments and conflict and issues and yada yada yada, considering that other people know that the work was not Azris's, but whatever.
Strength through chaos, Master. You wanted to see me.
Caravan, whose apprentice are you? And to which order do you belong?
Master, I am your apprentice, and I belong to the Order of the Red Wizards of Zamorak.
Then why did you take your idea to Azris of the Green Order, rather than coming to me?
I thought, May and I thought, that since Azris was the expert on teleportation research...
May and you? So both the Green and the Grey Orders saw your idea before I did?
I'm sorry, Master. But it came to nothing anyway. Azris said the idea was a blind alley.
Earlier today, Azris presented your idea to the Council as her own work.
What?
When I looked into it after the meeting, I saw your handiwork in there, and traces of the problem that I set you. You have a brilliant and chaotic mind, Calavan the Red. Azris has worked on the same problem for so long that her mind has turned to stone, and her apprentice hasn't had an original thought in his life.
They stole my idea.
No, Calavan. They took your idea. They took it when you handed it to them. How many times have I told you that we do not trust the other orders? This tower became great precisely because the four orders are in conflict with one another. We of all the orders should remember that.
What are you going to do?
What am I going to do about Azris taking your idea? Nothing. You missed your chance to have your name attached to this. I will put hands over your head for the rest of your career, spurring you on to greatness. Perhaps then, Zamorak will make something of you. What I'm going to do is complete your work. Your solution requires a second plane of existence for the travel to pass through. I mean to find such a plane. If I can do that, then the Red Wizards will take some credit for the ritual, even if, thanks to you, it is not the full credit we deserve. Go, now! Think about how you can redeem yourself in Zamorak's eyes. I need privacy for my meditation.
Yes, Master.
Azakorax, keeper of the key to the abyss, hear me. By the staff of Armadil, on which Zamorak impaled the empty lord, I charge you to appear.
Who calls me from the infernal vestibule?
So yeah, totally no problems whatsoever about, you know, a little bit of academic dishonesty right there. But we do find out why the teleportation goes through the abyss. Which, if you played really old RuneScape, back when random events were put in and were not nice, as they are in Old School, there was one where if you teleported, there would be a random chance for you to just kind of go into the abyssal raiding room, in which you have to pull a lever to get out. And then you go to the right destination. If you choose the wrong lever, you got teleported somewhere randomly.
All I'm saying is there have to be limits. There are things mortals can do, but some things should be left to the gods.
And who decides what gets left to the gods, Perry, in your order?
We all have to examine our consciences.
With this power, we could end hunger, end disease, end war, unite the world. My conscience would be fine with that.
And who governs this new world, May? Your order?
Master?
Strength through chaos, fellow wizards. It's good to hear a healthy argument coming from the library.
We were talking about what we could do once we have the rune essence teleport spell.
And what we should and shouldn't do.
Then you'll be pleased to know that you will soon be able to act out your moral dilemmas for real.
You've completed the spell, Master.
Indeed, I have completed the ritual that Azris the Green presented to the Council. I have made a copy for each of you to take to your master. The ritual requires 8 participants who must stand in a specific pattern. Please stress to your masters that the ritual must be performed exactly as described. Any deviation could be extremely dangerous. We can commence as soon as we're ready. I'll see you in the spellcasting chamber.
So, what did you see?
So we basically find out that there's now a ritual, and we're getting closer. We just need to find evidence of what order everyone needed to be in. And then we go and recreate it. So we look in some random boxes here, find some ritual stuff. We find a random diary, as well as some more ritual stuff. Oh, there's another piece over there. And there's another piece over there. Okay, there we go.
It worked. Thank
And
you.
we put all of the runes in that
The
position.
memory's starting. I want to see this.
Where's Zanmaron? It's not like him to be late.
Maybe he's...
What?
Never mind.
Strength through chaos, ladies and gentlemen. Are we prepared?
We are prepared.
Please remember, once the ritual begins, we must all keep our places in the circle. If anyone leaves, there could be disastrous consequences. Senventior destine renescet.
Avan, Salakar, Nimporto.
What's that?
And 5 seconds in, someone gets distracted.
Saparanti, Marudo.
That's
Palmetto.
wonderful.
No, I can see something behind Wizard Zanmaron. It's a demon.
Please, the ritual must be performed exactly as written. Senventior destine molenko.
May, can't you see it?
It's safe, Perian. I studied the ritual. It uses demonic power, but it's safe.
You knew? Demonic power is never safe. We have to stop.
I'm sure the demonic influence is minor. The core of the ritual is still Wizard Azris's green magic.
Green
Sure
magic?
it is.
It doesn't matter.
Of course it matters. I was there when Caliban made his breakthrough. This is his work.
Azris? Is this
And it
true?
all comes crashing down.
I've worked all my life on this problem. And then some kid had the idea. It should have been mine.
It doesn't matter whose idea it was. We must complete the ritual.
No, Zamaron, it does matter. If I had known this entire ritual was based on red magic, I would never have agreed to take part.
It's worth it. With this power, we could build a perfect world, end disease and war.
And you think that justifies this? I cannot take part in this ritual. Come, Perian.
No! If you leave the circle, we can't contain it!
The Red Master was hit by the full force of the power beam. No wonder that started a fire that... Wait, it's happening again. Get down!
Oh no! Well, I think we need help now.
Hello again, adventurer. What can I do for you? I am nearing the end of a long line of arcane research. I just need to consult a final few books in the library. Soon this room will be the site of a breakthrough that will change the tower forever. You are right to come to me. I have experience dealing with that sort of magical coma, so I should be able to bring her round.
Oh no!
Oh, did I slip up? Did I let on that I know more than I should? Almost as if I planned this whole sequence of events, and my plan is so close to completion that I'm becoming careless about what I say. It's
Aha,
too
I shall
late
fight
for
thee.
that, adventurer. I have no quarrel with you. Leave now, or be caught up in the tower's destruction. Behold the vengeance of the betrayed souls of the great old tower! Behold the bloody foundation of the new tower, rising to destroy it!
Master, what's going on?
My dear apprentice, you are fulfilling the purpose for which I trained you. Your wide-eyed search for truth has led you exactly where I wanted. Don't worry, you won't have to contain that power for long. The soul fragments will tear you apart, and the explosion will level the tower.
That seems bad. We should probably stop that.
Adventurer! You have...
Leave her alone!
So,
Yeah.
you've learned to channel that energy. Enjoy it while you can. Any moment now it'll...
Stop talking. I'm trying to concentrate. Adventurer, I think someone wants to talk to you.
Fascinating. If I understand this correctly, I am one of several personality fragments possessing an unwilling host body. I assume this is an effect of Zanmaron's ritual being performed improperly.
Temrin the Grey. So you've retained some degree of consciousness?
I know. It's an explosive climax, you get.
Or it is overwhelmed. In my case, a cosmic rune should make a suitable receptacle. You will need to time your actions so that the rune being used matches the color in the cycle. pity I cannot observe this phenomenon from an external vantage point. However,
Well, time to start sucking wizard souls out of
Thank you,
Ariane.
but there are 7 more. It's all I can do to keep them contained. I'll let them speak through me one by one.
my Bible! I always dreamed of the tower having an organ. Is this real?
Archmage Perian, you built this tower. Built it on the bodies of the Red Order. Now you'll play a part in its destruction.
Archmage? What are you talking about?
Hey, I think I get this. Adventurer, you need to wait for the right load and use an earth room.
Shut up!
Oh my god, he has no original thoughts. He is the living personification of an orange cat.
Power beam, my teleportation anchor. It worked. May, can you see it? It worked.
Master!
What?
The Blue Wizards killed your master and drove you underground. But you founded a secret order to seek vengeance. This is that vengeance. Hold on to that body. Any moment now, you destroy the tower. Enemies of the Order must taste the flames of our wrath.
I don't care what
Yeah,
some
no.
other me did, and I don't want to destroy any tower. Adventurer, you said you could get me out of here. Do it.
We're hurting someone. I can sense it. If you have a way to get me out...
It's too late for that watery wizard. You disobeyed my master and stepped out of the circle. You destroyed the old tower, and I'll use you to destroy the new one.
Who are you?
I am Eleron the Red, heir to the sacred tradition of the Staff of Fire. I bring the vengeance of Sanmaron and Caliban, whom you betrayed.
Samaron and Caliban were my friends, and you are nothing like them, you hateful little man. Adventurer, get me out of here before I do any more harm.
She's so sassy. But out she comes.
Power beam. So Caliban's idea worked. I still think the Blue Wizard was the smartest invention.
Yeah, well, not with the apprentice you had.
Samarak grants us the creativity to have truly original ideas.
Really? And what original ideas have you had with us, Red Wizard? As far as I can tell, you're more interested in destroying other people. Adventurer, get me out of here.
I like how all of them are just straight up just dunking on him. It's like, ha ha, you piece of shit.
Idiots. They deviated from the ritual, and now look what's happened. Disembodied soul fragments possessing some slip of a girl.
Lord Sanmaron!
Who are you? And why should I care?
Ah, 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 he's so good.
Of the Staff of Fire. The Blue Wizards betrayed you, but we have worked in secret for 100 years to bring them down.
Worked in secret for 100 years? Self-important tradition of the magic stick? You're...
But, Master, I'm doing this for you.
I've had enough of this. You, adventurer! Get me out of here!
Getting dunked on by the original Red Wizard. Just... no.
The tower they built. It might not have as broad a foundation as the other one, but it's reached just as high. Such a pity someone would try to destroy it. Call me out, adventurer. Use the last rune.
And last one's out.
But I think I can see a more fitting host
Let's-
for us than these runes, don't you?
No!
He'll be fine.
Here we are, false Red Wizard. Your apprentice
Surely he's
intended
done
for the
something
height
other
of
than
his
just be
power.
miserable and hateful
Let's
his
see
entire
how
life.
wrong you
Overwhelm me then. Let me explode with the fury of Zamorak.
With my death, the tower will fall!
Oh, I don't think so. Let's see where this teleportation unlocked is.
No! Don't! Don't make me teleport!
This is one time I'll let you use demonic knowledge, Zamaron. To the abyss!
No!
To the abyss, my fellow visitors.
To the abyss!
Adventurer, I want to go away and think about this. But thanks for your help. I hope we can work together again in future.
And that's the redo of the Rune Mysteries. It's, like I said, it is a boatload of lore. But at the end of the day, we get some snazzy robes and some rune crafting levels. And that's going to be it for this episode. We're getting kind of longer than usual here. Remember how I said at the start of I would only be able to do 2 quests to cover these in a decent amount of detail and keep the episode to a reasonable length. So I'll see you next time, hopefully not in 3 months, with the other 4 quests. We're going back to the old stuff. No more cutscenes, no more voice acting, just text boxes and tasks. Bye-bye.